In Japan, there are over 1 million Hikikimori, or social withdrawal men, who are living alone in family homes for years at a time. Many don't talk to their families, and some family members have not seen them or spoken to them for years. They withdraw themselves from society due to the extreme expectations of academic achievement. They are trying to soothe their anxiety by withdrawing from society. And this young man is an example. I'm going to be reading his body language. It's only a short video, but it reveals quite a bit, really.
I wanted to stay in this room all the time.
So you go to bed early in the morning and sleep all day, and then mostly up all...
So this is one young man who's been in his bedroom for 2 years, and this is unusual to have a Western group of people, let alone any group of people, to come in and talk to this young man. But I'm going to look at what his hands are doing, just to show you what some people do when they're anxious. And let's have a look at his...
It's about...
Now, it could be a Japanese trait, but they don't have a lot of facial expressions going on here. And children are also very similar, where they don't show a lot of facial expressions either. Some people keep their facial expressions very neat and tidy, or nothing happening, to keep themselves safe so people can't read them.
About 2 years since I started to stay in this room all the time. Before that, I'd often refuse to go to school.
He was fiddling with his fingers, and that is soothing himself. So his limbic system is in overdrive, and he's anxious at the moment. And so it comes out in your fingers and your feet and your legs often, because that's the furthest point away from the brain.
And there were times I stayed at home, but it's been 2 or 3 years since I started to stay in this room all...
And you'll notice that he's blinking a lot. Blinking a lot means that you're very anxious, so you're blinking yourself to try and keep your eyes lubricated. Often the saliva, when we're nervous, it moves away from our mouth, and sometimes it can make our eyes dry.
...all the time.
So you go to bed early in the morning and sleep all day, and then mostly up all night. I mean, why do you do that?
Again, a lot of blinking and thinking. He's licking his lips because they're dry, and he's feeling really anxious.
During the night, everyone else is sleeping, so I can be all alone. That way I can feel calm and comfortable. That's why I stay up all night.
So again, he's licking his lips, which means he finds the interview distasteful, or he doesn't like it. And it's all related to anxiety.
Why do you think there are so many people like you, young men, who live in these small square rooms in Japan?
I guess there are many people...
Now there's a really tiny micro expression that I'll replay that again. So that tiny little take on the mouth, there's a sense of regret there, and a sense of sadness, obviously. So this is not a happy face, and you'd know that, but he's also withdrawn in his ability to really communicate. He doesn't have alive eyes. And he had a little bit of regret in his chin, pulling back, tiny little movements with his lips and his sort of chin here.
I guess there are many...
Right there. That's regret. Pulling up of the chin and back of the lips.
People who aren't good at communicating with other people.
And basically what he's saying is that he lacked really communicate with people, so he withdrew physically and mentally.
I don't know why, but that's how it is.
Do you have any...
You notice that his mouth is very much closed and it's not very open. Again, he's trying to keep himself safe. So if you come across someone who has a teensy tiny lips, doesn't open their mouth, they're probably full of anxiety at that point, or often.
Answer to that?
Regret again.
Maybe it's because too much priority is put on schoolwork. Consequence, people are having trouble communicating with their own families. Lack of communication is the problem.
Are you
Tiny nodding there.
hopeful that one day you'll be able to leave this room?
I can't be sure. Not just yet.
And he's not sure. And you can see that with his head shaking there and sort of a side eye looking at him. Part of him does want to leave, but he feels very comfortable there because he feels safe. The academic work before your mental health, and this is what happens, unfortunately, in Japan. Look, Japan's a great country, don't get me wrong. This is probably the worst of the pushing of the academic skills. Regret again.
can see that he would like this interview to end, wouldn't he?
そろそろもうこのインタビュー終わればいいなって思ってるよね。ごめんね。
Yeah.
Yeah, so and he's licking his lips again. He's displeased, and of course he laughed. You know what laughter is? It's a release of tension. Crying and laughter is a release of tension, both of them. Release. It's like a cathartic thing.
Can you thank him for this? I think he's done really well.
And that there is reasonably pleased with himself.
Yeah. Can you thank him for this?
Right there. So he's pleased that he could help to a degree. All right, I hope you enjoyed this short video. This is the dialogue. If you like and subscribe, share, and check out my Patreon video for more videos. Cheers.